It is a good morning and we caught a beautiful trade today. So let me show you what we did. So I'm going to actually make a little change to the videos. I'm going to try and keep it more broad so more traders can understand what I'm talking about rather than using advanced ICT terminology because I got the feedback that I should make it more accessible, and I think I agree. It's more interesting if more people can understand the videos. So today was not a good day of trading for me. However, we did end the day in the green. And I've made $55 on every account. So that puts us at, just under 500 lost per account. But let me show you this beautiful trade that I caught from 262 all the way down for 70 points or so. So this was the initial analysis that I posted in my Discord before open on Sunday. And we had a huge gap up open. And we did ultimately hold this bearish, which is exactly what I expected. I wanted to see it go up a little bit and then down, but not go all the way up here. And that is indeed what happened. So it didn't come up here. It traded pretty much halfway of the balanced price range and then sold off right into the new week opening gap. I caught some sells into here. So the problem is I was very impatient today. So my bias for the day was bearish, but I was not able to be patient enough and disciplined enough to execute properly. So I took a bunch of small stop losses prior to the winning trade. And I'm not very happy with myself. This is not the first time I'm doing this on the funded accounts. And it was going really well on demo. I was taking like one trade and then chilling out. But right now I feel some kind of nervousness, and it's good for me to be aware of that and try to do something about it. So as you can see on the 1 minute, the price action was very choppy up in here all the way until we broke this low, and then we had some quick displacement to the downside, and my final target was this low over here. So let me show you the trade entries. We had a bunch of trades. This was some terrible trading today, you guys. I was trying to go short pretty much as soon as the market opened, and that's not very good. We had this fair value gap over here, and we did not wait for it to go under it, which is not good. So what I should have done is I should have waited for all of these highs to get cleared out. ES was also looking kind of bullish, and dollar was tanking all in here. I mean, dollar is still going down, but now it's held by this fair value gap over here. So it's chopping around more, allowing for the indices to move down. And the move already happened, so there's not much to say about it right now. So yeah, I was trying to go short in here. I went short again and took a break even. I went short again, took a break even. Went short again, took a loss. This was a little bit of FOMO, a bit of chasing price down here. There was a fair value gap right here, but as soon as I saw this hold, I was short, and then I got stopped out. Then over here, I switched my bias because I figured that we're going to run the highs, and we just got stopped out on two longs before we got a long move right here. So that was right in here when I saw that this fair value gap was holding, and ES was making the lower lows, while Nasdaq was not. So I thought, okay, we can maybe run these highs and these equal highs on ES, and that's why I was trying to take a long in here. But I barely got stopped out because my stop was really tight. I should have maybe put it down here, or I should have just not chased price and then not taken these losses. But it did go up here, so it was not terrible analysis, just the executions were a little bit rushed. So then we had some more stops. After this, I thought we could still run this trend line one more time before going lower. But once it did this, I was like, okay, we have now entered the sell program. We broke below here, and we are targeting the lows. So we took a stop over here. This was two trades I was trying to pyramid, and I took a break even on both of them combined, but I was looking for shorts. And then here we took another. Wow, this was really unfortunate right here. We took a sell right here, very nice entry. Could have just left my stop loss up here, but I didn't. And then I got tapped out on break even before it went all the way from 92 to 60. So this was a 30 points right here. and then we entered again right over here, but we got stopped out for pretty much break even. So a lot of entries today, which I'm not happy about. I need to be more selective with my trades, but on a day like this, it's very difficult. I probably should have waited for this fair value gap to hold and then seen some kind of bearish order flow on the 5-second chart. Instead, I was just trying to take trades all over the place before it even moved. And this was actually the perfect 10 a.m. silver bullet, fair value gap right at 10 a.m. and then it's sold off perfectly. So if I was being more patient, which is pretty much the lesson I've come out with for today, then this would have been a beautiful trade of like 100 points. And we did catch a lot of that, so I'll show you that in a second. But first, I have to go through the embarrassment of showing my terrible trades, because otherwise I'll never improve as a trader. So here we had equal highs and equal lows. Equal lows were taken, fair value gap right in here, and I was expecting these highs to get taken, so I entered long. And this is from 84 to 89. So this is a 5-point trade, and I did not partial, I did not move my stop. This was very bad. Considering I'm bearish on the day, this was a very bad trade since it's only 5 points, and I was looking for like 100 points to the downside. So I don't really know why I entered long here. I mean, I know obviously this was a bullish setup, but I did not take profit in time, and I should just really not be in this trade. And then we had what we were looking for, equal highs taken, a nice move to the downside. It came back up here one more time, which is where my entry should be, and then it ran. But I missed this because I was in a long, which I really should not be doing. So then I entered after I got stopped out. It ran a little bit further down, and I entered on this immediate rebalance, which is just the wick of this candle. Then I had a nice trade for 1 partial, 2 partial, 3 partial. We got stopped out here and here, and we took one off below the lows. But the losing does not stop there. We have another loss right here. I was trying to sell it again. There was no fair value gap. There was nothing in here. No reason why I should be shorting it, and it had just taken all of these lows. I was just scared that it would move without me. So yeah. And finally, this is where we had an absolutely beautiful trade. So we had this run up here, going into this fair value gap and over here, all the way up here, and we had a displacement to the downside / balance price range. So move up and move down, it came right back up in here. So as soon as I saw that this wick was not trying to close above, I entered here. And what I actually did was I entered 2 positions, because I took so many stops today and I was getting frustrated with myself that I was taking trades for terrible reasons, and I knew that this was a really good trade, so I doubled down on it. Usually I would say that I should not take larger sizes, but I was very confident in my analysis, and I had been taking silly trades all day. So I thought, let me show that I know what I'm doing by doubling down on the trade that I am confident in and I think is a good setup. And that way we can also recoup some of the losses. Of course, if I lost, I would have just lost a little bit extra, but that's okay by me. I was confident that this trade would play out, and it certainly did. So then we had 6 micros over here, double position, and I was able to take a lot of partials. Taking partials helps with making sure that your bottom line is growing, just in case the market comes and stops you out one more time. And also it helps hold a trade longer, because if I was up in here, I would have never held all the way down here. I probably would have gotten stopped out by this or here somewhere, because I always trail to 50% of the last green candle. So if it was down here, I would have trailed over here, and then it would have come and stopped me out. But let's see where I took all of my partials. So I took one at this low very quickly because I wanted to make sure I'm locking in profit. Then I took another one off at 30. So that is on the 1-minute chart. So I took one off at 45. I took one off over here at 30 under all of these equal lows. And then I was holding for this low at 210 and this low at 95, which is exactly where I was getting out. So right here, 210, I got out under this low. So I wasn't being picky with, getting the exact tick, because as you can see, I would have had to wait more. I saw these equal lows and I was like, let me put my take profit right under that. And then for the final contract right here at 95, this was the lowest low within the opening gap, and I took my last partial over there. So I think this was a very nice trade, and it brings me some confidence that I do know what I'm doing. Although today, if I'm being honest, my patience was really nothing to brag about. I took a bunch of trades. Some of them were not bad, but a lot of them were trades I should not be taking. So on the day where I think the bias is bearish, I should really not be taking any form of longs, because we can get stopped out for no reason, and the potential upside is not very strong. For example, this trade was 60 points. So I had a 5-point stop loss on a 60-point trade, which is 12R. Well, it's not really 12R because I take partials along the way, so that's why I never talk about risk to reward. But this was worth it to hold it for me. These longs, however, I would have never gotten out at the exact high, and even if I did partial, I would have gotten stopped out at break even for most of the balance. So it was potentially not worth it to take these longs, even though it did go up. A lot of these shorts were kind of rushed. So I did have the fear that it would make that whole run without me. And that's the reason I took a lot of sells in discount. So if we have a move like this from here to here, discount is underneath 50%, and I should not be taking sells underneath 50%. I should wait for it to go back up or form a new trading range after it takes some kind of liquidity, and then run it up, because anytime it takes liquidity, it will run up to stop people out like this, and then we will be primed for another leg of downside displacement. So at least today was a green day, but it definitely could have been a much larger win. Technically, I do think this is our biggest winning day so far, but it was definitely not something I'm particularly proud of. I took way too many trades, and not all of them were good. At least the bias was correct, and we did manage to catch the big win over here at the end to make our balance green for the day. But overall, there's a lot of lessons to be learned, and hopefully I'll be able to apply myself better, because as you can see, my analysis is very solid. I have the basics down, so I'm a good analyst, but I'm working on becoming a better trader. And of course, that's why I make the videos, so I can look back and see the progress I've made. And hopefully you guys stick along with that as well. Hopefully you enjoyed. Comment, like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.